Hey there, welcome back, and today we are going to dive right into scripting this UI here. Let's go ahead and I'm going to open up my reward chest script. I actually got to open here, and then first thing I'm going to do is let's go root dot click detector dot max activation distance is set to 0. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to set it so that no one else can click on it now. The click detector is still going to be there, but the distance that we can click it from is going to be 0. So practically you won't be able to click on it. And I'm going to set the default distance to like 16 studs. So you have to be at least that close. We'll make it 12 maybe. So we'll do that, and then we have to set up our UI now. So the first step is we don't actually want the chest to open before we say we want to buy anything. So I've gone ahead, I've got a yes and no button, which I named, so they're a little easier to identify. And then name this, and I'm going to move it down. So let's go frame, and we want to move this down here out of the screen, and that's moved it down here where we can't see it, so we can have it pop up. So let's go back here, and we can do local frame equals player dot player GUI, so we're going to access the player GUI here, and we're going to do our reward chest screen GUI dot frame. Perfect. And then we'll do frame, and I'm going to use the tweening, so let's go to frame. And they've got some example code here. Tween position is what I'm going to use. And right here we've got some example code. So I'm going to grab all of this, come back here, and paste it in. And what this is going to do, it's going to move. Tween position will basically move our frame around. And the first thing we give it is this property, which is going to be the position we want to move it to, and I originally had it at 0.5, so we want it to move back to the center of the screen, and then this is going to be the movement direction. Here's an example of this is the speed, I believe, of stuff, and you can mess around when you're making your UI. You can mess around with it to get the best results, but I've got easing style here, and this is one of the things you can change. You can have it be linear like this, same speed all along, or you can add some effects. As you can see, I like back for this UI, so I'm going to change this here to back. This is the time it takes. I'm just going to set that to a ½ second, and this variable here is whether I can override this movement before it's finished moving, and I want to be able to override it just in case. So now let's see, let's comment out this for now because we don't need it yet, and we'll test this. So let's hop in. Perfect. So there our UI pops up. We can't click on anything yet, but that's okay. So we're going to go back, and let's do frame dot yes. We'll do frame dot yes button. Let's do the no button first. And this is mouse button 1, click, connect, whoops. Connect function, and we're going to do this, and we're going to move it to where it is now, right there. So that's going to bounce it back out, and that's that. And then let's do frame dot yes button dot mouse button one click connect, and if we click yes, then we're going to go if player dot leaderboard dot cache dot value is larger than, I don't know, let's just do 50, then player.leaderstats.cache.value equals that minus 50. Let's just make a variable here of cost. So we only have to change one number here. We'll make cost there, and if it's larger or equal to cost, minus cost. Oops. Can't spell today. Ha ha ha. But, alright, so that'll be else. Let's just print not enough cache, and then do stuffs there. When that'll be for later. But if we have that, then we're gonna minus the cache, and then we'll do this here. So that we can then, so that's moving it. We're just gonna have it wait 1 right now, and then do this. So I don't think we even need this here, but I'm going to leave it in place just in case we do. Cool, and then right at the end of this we need to make sure that the activation distance, let's do local activation distance equals 12, and then we'll just set that here. Actually, we don't want to do that. Let's do activation distance, and then we're gonna do activation distance equals that number. So we're making a variable, and then we're going to assign the number, the current number that someone has set. So if someone changes the number in here, what we're going to do is this will get that number for us, and then set it so that we can then set it back here. Cool. And I think that's all that we need to do for now, so let's go ahead and test this. Hop in. Cool. I'm going to change one thing. Yes. There's a bug. 2 things to change. One is I want to change when we do no, I want this to be in, so it bounces and then leaves. And then the other thing is that when we press no, this needs to go back to our normal activation distance. So let's try this again. Cool. That works. And if we press yes, and leaderboard, okay. So let's do this. It's been a few videos since I've dealt with the leaderboard, so let's double check this player. It's leader stats, that's the word. So let's do leader stats. We'll just paste in the new one. Let's try this. Not enough cash. Cool, let's get ourselves a bit of cash here. And if you're watching the video for the first time, this one, and you haven't seen any of the previous videos in the series, I made this earlier, so you can go back and see how we made that and set up the leaderboard and all of that. But we've got plenty of cash, so we'll hit I, and it's working. And then should close. And welcome back. I spent a bit of time figuring out what was going on, and I'm found out that this wait time was what was causing the problem. So what happened was we would start playing our animation, and this would start running, but immediately, so we'd play the animation, and then immediately we'd wait 1 second, and then we would start playing the closing animation. The problem is that the opening animation takes 2 whole seconds to play, so what it would do is it would start opening, halfway through opening it would try playing the closing animation, and that would run fine, but midway through that we would start the animation to keep it open, and we would never stop that. So at the very end of it closing, the animation to keep the chest open would kick in and keep it open. So we can fix this. So we have the opening animation takes 2 seconds, so we need at least 2 seconds here, but I'd like 1 second or maybe 2 for the chest to stay open, and then it'll close. We'll add an additional 2 seconds, that'll make it 4. And then I'm also going to add a line of code here. It's the same one, just to move the menu, the selection menu, off the screen once we click yes. So let's test this now, and it should work. So we'll grab a bit of cash, 50 cash, sweet, and let's open, and we'll say yes, and it opens, and it waits a couple seconds, and then it closes again. Perfect. So that's that. That's all good. We can go back, just delete a couple lines here that we don't need, all the things dealing with moving, and that should be it. So we've got yes and no working, and in the next video we'll work on if you click yes and you don't have enough cash, then it'll give you an option to buy it with Robux. So we'll work on that next. Until then, have a great day, and I'll see you later.